"Fall back, she's just a medic, no combat skills." The shout echoed as the small woman crawled into the kill zone through heavy gunfire, medical pack on her back. A SEAL lay dying, blood pooling on rocky ground. Nobody believed she'd actually survive. But then, as bullets whizzed overhead, she pulled an M110 rifle from her medical tube, loaded it carefully, and said exactly 5 words. "I have the angle now." The shot rang out. The entire unit lived. Anna Keller was everything a combat zone medic shouldn't be. 27 years old, Swiss Austrian, with light brown hair that refused to stay tucked under her helmet, and green eyes that seemed too soft for war. At 5'4" and barely 120 pounds, she looked like she'd gotten lost on her way to volunteer at a children's hospital. Anna served as a battlefield medic with the Delta Med, special medical unit temporarily assigned to support operations in the Syrian desert. But to SEAL Team 7, she was just another liability they had to babysit. "Why'd they stick us with the female medic?" Staff Sergeant Murphy complained during their first briefing. "She looks like she'd faint at the sight of blood." "Probably some diversity requirement," Petty Officer Rodriguez added, not bothering to lower his voice. "Just another box to check." Anna heard every word. She always did. But she'd learned that arguing only made things worse. Instead, she focused on her gear, methodically checking her medical supplies while the team discussed her like she wasn't there. "Look at her," Lieutenant Therese whispered to his partner. "Skinny as a rail. What happens when she has to carry a wounded operator? We'll end up carrying both of them." The jokes never stopped. During training exercises, they'd assign her to safe positions away from the action. When practicing medical scenarios, they'd use sandbags instead of having her work on actual team members. "We don't want to overwhelm the little nurse," Murphy would say with a condescending smile. Anna took it all silently. Every night, she'd return to her tent and practice medical procedures until her hands moved with automatic precision. She'd memorize anatomy charts by flashlight. She'd time herself applying tourniquets and pressure bandages until she could do it blindfolded. What the SEALs didn't see was Anna's evening routine. After they finished their equipment checks and headed to their bunks, Anna would quietly clean her gear, not just medical supplies, though she did that too, organizing bandages and checking IV bags with obsessive care. But hidden in her medical kit, disguised as standard equipment, was something that would have shocked her teammates. Anna would carefully disassemble what appeared to be an oxygen delivery system, revealing the components of a heavily modified M110 semi-automatic sniper rifle. She'd clean each piece, meticulously check the scope alignment, test the action every single night. The weapon was a gift from Colonel Sara Martinez, Anna's former commanding officer, after Anna had saved Martinez's life during an ambush in Fallujah. Martinez had been bleeding out from arterial wounds when enemy snipers pinned down the evacuation team. "Medics aren't supposed to carry weapons," Martinez had said later, handing Anna the custom rifle. "But sometimes the best medicine is eliminating the disease." Anna had protested Geneva, Convention, medical neutrality. Everything she'd been taught said medics were protected non-combatants. "The Geneva Convention," Martinez had replied, "assumes your enemies give a damn about international law." That conversation had haunted Anna for months. She'd carried the disguised rifle through 4 combat deployments, never once assembling it for actual use. It was insurance, she told herself. Emergency equipment that would never be needed. But late at night, when the desert wind howled through their temporary base, Anna would practice with the weapon. Dry firing, breathing exercises, range estimation, using landmarks. Just in case. Because Anna had learned something that medical school never taught. Sometimes you can't save a life without taking one. The SEALs saw her gentleness as weakness, her small size as fragility, her quiet demeanor as incompetence. They had no idea that every night Anna whispered the same prayer before sleep. If the moment comes, let me be ready, let me be enough. Anna always kept a small, worn piece of paper in her chest pocket, handwritten in black ink. Medical response: if you can't save them, keep them alive long enough to honor them. The night insertion into Red Canyon went perfectly, too perfectly. SEAL Team 7 moved through the Syrian desert like ghosts, using infrared beacons and hand signals to navigate toward their target, a suspected chemical weapons facility hidden in the canyon complex. Anna followed 30 meters behind the main element, positioned exactly where Lieutenant Commander Hayes wanted her, out of the way. "Stay back, Doc," Hayes had ordered during the final briefing. "If shooting starts, keep your head down and wait for extraction." Anna nodded silently, shouldering her medical pack, inside carefully secured between trauma supplies and IV fluids. Her M110 rifle waited in its disguised configuration. At 0347 hours, the perfect mission became a nightmare. The first shot came from a ridge 400 meters north. Murphy dropped instantly, clutching his shoulder, blood already soaking through his tactical vest. Before Hayes could coordinate a response, muzzle flashes erupted from 3 sides. "Ambush! Find cover!" Hayes shouted into his comm. The team scattered behind rock formations, but the enemy had chosen their kill zone well. SEAL Team 7 was trapped in a natural bowl with minimal cover and coordinated fire from elevated positions. Rodriguez tried to reach Murphy, who was bleeding heavily behind a boulder, 60 meters away. Enemy fire intensified, sending rock chips and dust clouds around his position. "Can't get to him," Rodriguez yelled over the gunfire. "Too much incoming." Anna watched from her covered position. Murphy's blood pattern told her everything she needed to know: arterial bleeding, subclavian or axillary artery. Maybe 8 minutes before he bled out, possibly less in this heat. The kill zone stretched between her position and Murphy's cover. 70 meters of open ground swept by at least 2 machine gun positions and what appeared to be a sniper on the high ridge. Hayes was coordinating return fire when Anna made her decision. "I'm going for Murphy," she announced over the radio. "Negative," Hayes responded immediately. "You'll never make it. He's going to die if someone doesn't reach him." "That's an order, Doc. Stay in position." Anna looked at Murphy's position one more time. The blood pool was growing. In her medical assessment, he had maybe 6 minutes left. She didn't ask for permission again. Anna stripped off her helmet and grabbed her medical pack, quickly transferring one item to a thigh pocket: the small, worn piece of paper with her personal medical creed. Then she stepped out of cover and sprinted into the kill zone. The first 20 meters were terror in its purest form. Bullets whined past her head, struck the ground beside her feet, sent stone fragments slicing through the air. She ran in a combat crouch, using every piece of microterrain for momentary concealment. Halfway across, she dove behind a small outcropping, as automatic weapons fire tracked her movement. Something hot and sharp grazed her shoulder. Shrapnel or bullet fragment. No time to assess the damage. Murphy was barely conscious when she reached him, his face pale from blood loss. "Anna," he whispered, "what the hell? You shouldn't be here." "Shut up and let me work," she replied, already applying pressure to the wound. Anna worked with desperate efficiency. Pressure bandage over the entry wound, hemostatic agent packed into the wound channel, tourniquet positioned above the injury site. Murphy had lost approximately 2 liters of blood. He needed immediate evacuation or emergency surgery.
Neither was possible in their current tactical situation. That's when Anna spotted the problem that would kill them all. 800 meters up the ridge, barely visible through her medical scope, a sniper was systematically engaging any SEAL who tried to move. The shooter had perfect overwatch of their positions and was preventing any rescue attempts or tactical movement. Anna realized the enemy's strategy. Pin down the unit with machine gun fire,
while the sniper picked off anyone who tried to maneuver. Classic kill zone tactics. "Murphy," she said quietly, "I need you to stay very still." She reached into her medical pack and began disassembling what appeared to be an oxygen delivery system. Components of her M110 rifle emerged from their medical camouflage. Assembly took 22 seconds, muscle memory from countless nighttime practice sessions. Anna used Murphy's unconscious body as a shooting rest, positioning the rifle across his torso to create a stable firing platform. The scope had been zeroed for 800 meters during her last training cycle. Through the scope, she could see the enemy's sniper clearly. Professional equipment, good position, methodical target selection. But he was looking for SEAL positions, not a medic. Anna controlled her breathing, feeling her heartbeat steady against Murphy's chest. The sniper's crosshairs swept across the team's positions, searching for targets. She squeezed the trigger. The shot echoed across the canyon. 800 meters away, the enemy sniper slumped forward over his rifle. Immediately, the tactical situation changed. Without sniper overwatch, Hayes could coordinate maneuver elements. Rodriguez flanked the eastern machine gun position, while Torres suppressed the western emplacement. The firefight ended in 3 minutes. As dust settled and enemy fire ceased, Hayes's voice crackled over the radio. "All stations, report. Who had eyes on that sniper?" Anna was already breaking down her rifle, returning components to their medical disguises. "Negative visual on the shooter," Rodriguez reported. "Shot came from Murphy's position, but that's impossible." Anna wore a small silver chain around her neck, hidden under her uniform. The pendant was a thin metal plate engraved with coordinates. Metal, Ghost, DRX, Echo. 11.2 kilometers. The location where she'd once saved an entire border patrol unit from a chemical weapons attack. Hayes reached Murphy's position first, followed by Rodriguez and the rest of the team. They found Anna performing chest compressions on Murphy, her medical supplies organized and controlled, chaos around his body. "How is he?" Hayes demanded, scanning for threats. "Stable," Anna replied without looking up. "Blood loss is controlled, but he needs immediate evacuation." Rodriguez was staring at the ground around their position. Blood pools, medical packaging, IV tubing, but also something that didn't belong in a medical treatment area. "Doc," Rodriguez said, slowly, holding up a spent 7.62 millimeter cartridge casing. "What's this?" Anna's hands never stopped working on Murphy. Wouldn't know. Lot of shooting going on. Hayes studied the trajectory angles. The bullet that had eliminated the enemy sniper had originated from exactly where Anna was kneeling. The mathematics were simple and undeniable. "Anna," Hayes said quietly, "we need to talk after Murphy's stable now." Anna finally stopped her medical work and looked up. For the first time since he'd known her, Hayes saw something different in her eyes. Not the gentle, uncertain medic they'd been protecting. Something harder, colder, professional. "Fine," Anna said. She gestured to Torres. "Monitor his breathing. If the rate drops below 16 per minute, use the emergency airway." Anna stood, dusting off her knees, and faced the team. Hayes held up the cartridge casing. "This is from a 7.62 millimeter rifle, military specification. The only person in position to make that shot was you." "I'm a medic," Anna said simply.
Medics don't carry sniper rifles. Anna reached into her medical pack and pulled out what appeared to be medical oxygen equipment. With practiced movements, she disassembled it, revealing the barrel and action of an M110 semi-automatic sniper system. The SEALs stared in shock. Torres whispered, "What the fuck?" Anna began reassembling the weapon with fluid precision. "My name is Anna Keller, Combat Medical Specialist, Delta Med Unit, Secondary Military Occupational Specialty, Designated Marksman, Security Clearance, Top Secret, Special Compartmented Information." Hayes found his voice. "You're not just a medic." "No." Anna finished assembling the rifle and performed a functions check. "I'm..." What happens when regular medical support isn't enough? She turned to face the full team. 3 years ago, I was part of Operation Kraken in Fallujah, medical support for a joint special operations task force. We lost 6 medics in 4 days to coordinated sniper attacks. Enemy forces were specifically targeting medical personnel to maximize casualties and demoralize units. Anna's voice remained steady. Clinical Command decided that was unacceptable. They initiated a classified program. Combat medics with advanced tactical training. Medical personnel who could save lives and eliminate threats when necessary. Rodriguez shook his head. Geneva Convention protects medical personnel who restrict themselves to medical duties. Anna interrupted. The moment I assemble this weapon, I forfeit that protection. I become a legitimate military target. Hayes was processing the implications. How many of you are there? Classified. But I can tell you this. Every operator in the program volunteers because we've watched good people die when medical intervention alone wasn't sufficient. She gestured toward the ridge where the enemy sniper had been positioned. That shooter had perfect overwatch of your positions. He would have eliminated your entire team systematically, while the machine gunners kept you pinned. Murphy would have bled out regardless of my medical capabilities. Rodriguez asked, "The training?" 18 months of advanced marksmanship with Marine Scout sniper instructors, 6 months embedded with Delta Force, ongoing tactical medicine certification. Anna paused. This is my first combat engagement using both skill sets simultaneously. Hayes studied Anna's face, seeing her clearly for the first time. Why didn't you tell us? Because you needed to see me as a liability until the moment I became an asset. Your protective instincts toward me ensured I could maintain operational security while assessing the tactical situation. And if we hadn't been ambushed, Anna began breaking down the rifle again. You would have completed the mission believing you were protecting a harmless medic. My secondary capabilities would have remained classified. Hayes looked around at his team. Everything they'd believed about their quiet, gentle medic was dissolving. There's more, Anna continued. This mission wasn't just about the chemical weapons facility. Intelligence indicates the facility's being used to develop anti-medical warfare tactics. The enemy has been studying NATO medical protocols, evacuation procedures, treatment methodologies. The team tensed. They're developing weapons and tactics specifically designed to maximize medical casualties, make treatment impossible, force medics to watch patients die despite having the skills to save them. Rodriguez whistled softly. Psychological warfare. More than that, if they succeed in neutralizing medical support capabilities, entire units become combat ineffective. Anna secured the last rifle component in its medical disguise. Command sent me because if they're targeting medical personnel, we need medical personnel who can fight back. Hayes felt pieces clicking together. The facility contains detailed intelligence on medical vulnerabilities plus research into chemical agents that specifically target medical equipment and supplies. Anna shouldered her pack. My mission is to ensure that research never leaves the facility. Lieutenant Commander Hayes looked at his team. They were all processing the revelation that their supposedly harmless medic was actually a highly trained operator with a parallel mission they'd know nothing about. But Murphy was alive. The sniper who would have killed them all was dead, and Anna was still the same person who'd risk her life to provide medical care under fire. Torres spoke up. "Doc, when we hit that facility, what do you need from us?" Anna smiled slightly. "Same thing I've always needed. Do your jobs. Don't get shot. And trust that I'll do mine."
Which is save the lives worth saving and the ones that threaten them. Hayes nodded slowly. "Copy that, Doc," as they prepared to move Murphy to the evacuation point. Rodriguez asked quietly, "How many people know about your other capabilities?" "Officially, 12 people, including my commanding officer and the program director." Anna checked Murphy's vital signs one more time. "Unofficially, now you do." Hayes realized they'd gained more than medical support. With advanced capabilities, they gained a teammate who understood that modern warfare sometimes required both healing and killing from the same person. Murphy stirred, regaining consciousness. "Anna, what happened?" "You got shot. I fixed it. We're moving to extract the sniper." Anna helped to lift Murphy onto an improvised stretcher. "What sniper?" comments the TA type. "I owe a debt. If you've ever survived because someone quietly stepped into danger, nobody else dared enter." 3 days later, Anna sat in the medical tent at Forward Operating Base, Damascus, stitching up her own shoulder wound. The chemical weapons facility had been neutralized, but the intelligence recovered there was more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. Lieutenant Commander Hayes entered the tent, carrying a manila folder marked classified. "How's the shoulder?" he asked. "Functional," Anna replied, tying off the final suture. "Murphy, full recovery expected. He's already asking when he can return to duty." Hayes sat down across from her. "We need to talk about what happened out there." Anna continued organizing her medical supplies. "What about it?" "The Pentagon wants to give you a Silver Star." Anna shook her head immediately. "I don't want recognition." "Why not?" "Because the moment this program becomes public knowledge, it becomes ineffective. Enemy forces adapt. They start specifically hunting for armed medics. Medical personnel lose their protected status universally." Hayes studied her face. "So you just disappear back into anonymity?" "That's how it works." Anna closed her medical kit. "Rodriguez asked me yesterday if I'm really just a medic. I told him yes, because that's what I am primarily. Everything else is secondary. And if someone asks who eliminated that sniper, you tell them the team did. Coordinated fire, unknown shooter." Anna met his eyes. "Because that's what happened. The team succeeded. Individual contributions are classified." Hayes opened the folder. "The intelligence from the facility changes everything." Anna finished. "I know." The recovered documents detailed a comprehensive program to neutralize NATO medical capabilities. Chemical agents that destroyed medical supplies, biological weapons that specifically targeted medical personnel, tactical doctrine designed to make battlefield medicine impossible. 47 operations across 6 countries, Hayes said, reading from the report, all targeting medical infrastructure and personnel. Anna nodded. "The program I'm part of isn't just about creating armed medics. It's about ensuring medical support can't be completely eliminated by enemy action." "How many others like you are there?" "Enough," Anna said simply. Hayes closed the folder. "Rodriguez has been telling people you're some kind of guardian angel. Says you appear when things are darkest and somehow everyone survives." Anna smiled slightly. "Rodriguez talks too much." "Maybe, but he's not wrong." Hayes leaned forward. "The team wants you permanently assigned to us." "I'll consider it, Anna." Hayes paused. "What you did out there, saving Murphy, eliminating the sniper, maintaining operational security, that was extraordinary.
It was necessary. Hayes left the medical tent, but Anna's thoughts weren't on commendations or recognition. They were on a message she'd received that morning from Colonel Martinez. Ghost Medical. Program expanding. Need experienced operators for training cadre. Recommend you for instructor position. Anna looked out through the tent flap at the base medical facility where wounded soldiers received treatment in relative safety, protected by protocols and conventions that assumed enemies respected international law. She thought about the young medics who would soon face the same impossible choices she faced. Healers who might need to become warriors. Protectors who carried both bandages and bullets. That evening, Anna wrote a response to Colonel Martinez. Request approved. Will train new operators in dual capability operations. Emphasis on maintaining medical primacy while developing tactical proficiency. Recommend expanded psychological support for operators facing role conflict. She sealed the message and prepared it for encrypted transmission. Outside, she could hear SEAL Team 7 conducting equipment maintenance, their voices carrying across the base. Murphy's laugh was among them, alive because she'd chosen to risk everything for 18 seconds of medical intervention and one precise shot. Anna pulled out the worn piece of paper from her chest pocket, reading the handwritten words one more time. Medical response. If you can't save them, keep them alive long enough to honor them. Tomorrow, she would begin training others to carry the same burden, to understand that sometimes honor required both healing hands and steady trigger fingers. Common CTA type. I will live well if you believe some people exist solely to pull others toward life. There are people who aren't supposed to carry weapons, but sometimes, in the crucial moment, they're the only ones who know exactly where to aim. Anna didn't train to kill. She trained to keep hearts beating a few minutes longer, but she understood that sometimes you have to stop one person from shooting to keep 11 others breathing. 6 months after Operation Desert Serpent, the Ghost Medical Program graduated its second class of dual capability, operators. 12 medics who could save lives and eliminate threats. Healers who understood that mercy sometimes comes through a rifle scope. The program remains classified, but its impact is measurable. Medical casualties in areas with Ghost medical support have decreased by 67%. Enemy anti-medical operations have become significantly less effective because medical personnel can no longer be considered defenseless targets. Anna now serves as chief instructor for the program, training medics who volunteer for capabilities they hope never to use. The hardest part, she tells new trainees, isn't learning to shoot. It's learning when not to. Every Ghost medical operator carries the same creed Anna wrote after her first dual-action mission. We are healers first, warriors second. We take lives only to save lives. We carry weapons not because we want to kill, but because we refuse to let others die helplessly. The program has evolved beyond individual operators. Ghost medical teams now provide support across multiple theaters, ensuring that enemy forces cannot neutralize friendly medical capabilities through targeted attacks on unarmed personnel. But Anna's thoughts often returned to that night in Syrian desert, Murphy bleeding out behind a rock, the impossible choice between medical neutrality and tactical necessity. Do you regret it? A trainee asked her recently. Killing that sniper. Anna considered the question carefully. I regret that it was necessary. I regret that an enemy combatant chose to target wounded personnel. I regret that medical neutrality isn't universally respected. But the action itself, I sleep well at night knowing Murphy lived, knowing his children still have a father, knowing SEAL Team 7 completed their mission and went home. Anna paused. If that makes me something other than a pure medic, I accept that burden. The trainee nodded, beginning to understand. If you've ever stepped into a place no one told you to go, ever helped someone who couldn't help you back, Ever faced a choice between your principles and someone else's life? This story belongs to you. Anna Keller, call sign Ghost 1, didn't become a warrior because she wanted to fight. She became one because sometimes the only way to preserve life is to end the forces trying to destroy it. Real medics know that the most important tool isn't always in the medical kit. Sometimes it's the courage to use whatever tool the situation requires. If you believe in stories that honor quiet heroes like this one, leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to Ironheart Stories. We tell the stories that shouldn't be forgotten. Real people creating and sharing stories.